In the latest example of how meritocracy is just a myth in the United States, the New York Times has published a lengthy feature on The View and has dubbed it the most important political TV show in America. That is what they have called it. The most important political show in America. And I'm talking about The View, where on a regular basis, not only we dunk on them, but the country dunks on them because they have absolutely no knowledge. And when I say they, I'm mostly talking about Abby Huntsman, obviously Meghan McCain, and their insanely superficial discussions about politics, which it appears they never prepare for, and just read talking points that are written on blue cards for them, and then somehow that's the most important political talk show in America.
Anna Kasparian didn't just take a swing at The View. She tore down its entire reputation with chilling precision. In her eyes, the so-called political debates on that glossy stage aren't discussions. They're performances. Pause. She calls it a polished illusion, wrapped in liberal branding and laced with surface-level outrage. To Anna, the real tragedy isn't the disagreements or missteps. It's the betrayal of trust. Millions of women tune in expecting substance, but what they get, she says, is a diet of corporate-safe soundbites crafted for clicks, not clarity. This isn't just television. It's manipulation dressed as empowerment.
Your moral core is magnificent.
Wow. I know you probably don't want it, you don't want to think about it, but I just feel like I would feel a lot better with you leading the FBI, the CIA, the NBC.
Nope. No. Listen, like, you want to talk about undemocratic acts, guys? Bush stole an election. Okay, in 2000. Was Liz Cheney doing anything about that?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, let's stop laundering their reputations. What are we doing? Look,
Right.
Whoopi Goldberg is, as my brother likes to say it, gooch. Like, she's good. She's comfortable. She's happy. And when your financial stability and your comfort is secured, honestly, politics just becomes a sporting.
According to Anna Kasparian, The View has sold out the feminist movement. Pause. In a world where women are fighting for real equality, real representation, and real freedom, Anna says The View offers makeup tutorials disguised as activism. They amplify voices that fit the corporate narrative and silence the ones that challenge it. And while they shout slogans like, "Believe all women," or "Empowerment now," Anna asks, what about women who criticize the system itself? Are their voices less valid? For Anna, that kind of selective feminism is worse than silence. It's betrayal in disguise.
And the thing that's so frustrating to me is, look, I don't know what Whoopi Goldberg is aware of and what she's unaware of, right? I don't remember her commenting on politics back during the Bush era. So maybe she's totally unaware that Bush suspended habeas corpus for anyone who was simply suspected of being an enemy combatant, which, by the way, prevented individuals from legally challenging their detention. That's what that did. It was so egregious that the Supreme Court overturned the suspension of habeas corpus. This is unconstitutional.
Behind the camera smiles and well-rehearsed monologues, Anna Kasparian sees a much uglier truth. The View isn't there to inform, it's there to pacify. Pause. She argues that the show has become a machine, powered not by truth but by trends. When tough issues arise, The View dances around them. When dissent threatens comfort, it's quickly silenced. According to Anna, this isn't just a missed opportunity, it's a media betrayal. Millions trust this show as a voice for women, but Anna believes it's become a velvet cage. Shiny, soft, but deeply limiting.
You did not see this one coming.
Because I want to juxtapose the kind of life Whoopi Goldberg lives and what average Americans are struggling with right now. So let's go to graphic 4 here. After landing her gig on The View, Goldberg relocated back to New York City, where she bought a full-floor loft in Soho for $4 million.
Me too. She knows. She knows the working class.
She sold the 2-bedroom apartment in 2010, during the economic crash, of course, for just under $3 million, so she lost there. But in a search for more privacy, she moved to the New Jersey suburbs, purchasing a $2.8 million mansion in the gated community.
You know those fiery arguments on The View, the ones that go viral, filled with shouting and walk-offs? Pause. Anna Kasparian calls them rehearsed outrage, manufactured conflict, scripted emotion designed to stir the algorithm, not the soul. And when the drama ends, the real issues, racism, war, corruption, remain untouched. Anna believes this kind of performance journalism is more dangerous than silence, because it convinces audiences they're witnessing truth, when in reality, they're just watching a production. And in that illusion, she says, the truth slowly dies.
It blows my mind that anyone still believes that this country is at all based on meritocracy. Like, it's just not. A mistake is a mistake. I get it. And I actually don't get mad simply because someone disagrees with progressives on television. I get mad when they come from a place of ignorance, like they don't know the facts of the story, and then they come out hard against progressives. Like, if you have a counterpoint to what we believe, and it's a good point, it is.
There wasn't a single explosive moment when Anna Kasparian turned on The View. It was a slow, bitter realization. Pause. Over time, she noticed the shift. Fewer meaningful conversations, more celebrity gossip, fewer hard truths, more applause-line slogans. It hit her when the hosts brushed past war crimes to spend 20 minutes on a Hollywood divorce. That's when Anna says she stopped seeing The View as a journalistic voice and started seeing it for what it really was. Daytime entertainment pretending to be activism.
All of these older women, let's keep it real, who are laughing because they find it ridiculous, but they forget that the vast majority of people don't have cushy TV daytime jobs, right? Where they're still raking in the big bucks and they don't have to worry about their financial future. For a lot of Americans, in fact, most Americans, once you hit a certain age, if you get fired, if you're in your 50s and you lose your job, you get laid off. Do you know how difficult it is for them to find another job? Do you know how rampant age discrimination is in the workplace? So, listen, it's easy for them to laugh about those fears, but those fears are real, and I would venture to say that the people who are actually out of touch are not the Zoomers who are concerned about that. It's the people sitting on that panel.
Anna Kasparian doesn't mince words. She says The View has become a toxic echo chamber, where only certain kinds of correct opinions are allowed to exist. Pause. Dissent is framed as ignorance. Nuance is treated like betrayal. And anyone who dares to question the approved liberal narrative is branded as dangerous or irrelevant. Anna doesn't oppose progressive values. She's built her career on them. But she believes that groupthink disguised as progressivism is a betrayal to true journalism. The View, she says, doesn't welcome new ideas. It protects old dogmas.
I think I want to be stuck in whatever internet bubble you guys are in, because I'm not reading that my sit down with Ben Shapiro was totally okay. In fact, I get a lot of backlash from the left about how I'm a secret Trump supporter. I'm actually a secret right-winger. Some people have accused me of being alt-right. One of the things I got in trouble for fairly recently was, I don't know, I just think asylum seekers or people who are here with undocumented status should be deported if they're committing crimes, right? Like, I don't think that makes you anti-immigrant.
That's fascist.
Yeah, I know.
Please.
Well, but honestly, the left, and I'm saying the left generally, but honestly, it's like a slice of the left. They will call you anti-immigrant or xenophobic, bigoted, whatever, anti-immigrant, for just wanting to have law and order in society.
While The View smiles for the camera, Anna Kasparian says it's hiding a much deeper truth. Pause. Behind every safe segment and carefully framed debate is an agenda designed to keep viewers emotionally satisfied but intellectually sedated. She believes corporate sponsorships drive the content more than public need. And when hard topics emerge, military spending, surveillance, corporate greed, the show either dilutes them or avoids them altogether. To Anna, this is media complicity. The very institutions that should be holding power accountable are instead playing nice with it. And that, she says, is the real betrayal.
Anna, I've been watching your evolution and your sort of speaking out about your ideas with great interest. It's been very interesting. I feel like in some ways I experienced something similar myself, where I was certainly more, I think, on the left 10 years ago than I am now, for sure. I would never describe myself as a liberal past college. But I see what you're going through, and I think a lot of people can relate, where it's like you just get so aggravated with shit breaking down that you believed in. You feel like you have no choice but to just start calling it out.
Anna Kasparian's message to women watching The View. Anna Kasparian has one message for women who tune into The View every day hoping to feel seen, heard, and empowered. You deserve better. Pause. She's not here to mock or shame the audience. She's here to challenge the system that's feeding them a watered-down version of truth. Real empowerment, she says, doesn't come from feel-good slogans or clapping along to safe opinions. It comes from being uncomfortable, from confronting harsh truths, and from listening to voices outside the corporate-approved circle. The View, she argues, isn't giving you that, and they never plan to.
That's why it feels like it almost feels like you're rubbing it in our face when you say that.
And I know they don't mean to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do think that for people who deliver the news or discuss or analyze what's happening in the country, it's a big problem when you look at pretty much every news organization and realize a lot of these people went to Ivy Leagues. A lot of these people come from affluent families. A lot of these people are totally disconnected from the vast majority of Americans and the struggles they...
Anna Kasparian says The View is afraid of real debate. Anna Kasparian has debated politicians, journalists, and ideologues. But she says the toughest conversations don't happen on The View. Pause. Why? Because the show avoids real friction. It prefers pre-approved conflict over authentic disagreement. Anna believes that deep, unfiltered debate is where progress begins. But on The View, the moment someone veers from the script, the tone shifts, the tension rises, and the segment ends. That, she says, is not conversation. That's control. And in a time when we need truth more than ever, control is not what we need.
Either on the broad left or someone who just doesn't agree with the idea of Donald Trump leading this country again. Do you find ways to work with the incoming administration, or do you try to fight the administration every step of the way? Well, the ladies at The View have differing opinions on this. You just heard from Alyssa Farah Griffin, who thinks that, well, there are some areas where I agree with Trump. Maybe we can look to the positives here. Others disagree. Let's take a look.
I'm going to wait and see. He's not been sworn in yet. I'm somebody who probably agrees with 75% of his policies. If he focuses on creating jobs, on bringing down the cost of living, securing the border in a responsible way, and being tough on America's adversaries, I'm all...
Anna Kasparian doesn't want to be on The View. Here's why you'd think someone like Anna Kasparian, outspoken, political, and fearless, would be a perfect guest on The View. But she refuses. Pause. Not because she's scared, but because she doesn't believe in the premise. She says the show isn't designed to challenge ideas. It's designed to contain them. And being a guest means playing along. Smiling politely. Holding back when the real truth might offend. Anna says she's done with that game. She doesn't want to sit at the table if the conversation is rigged. She'd rather speak from outside, where the truth isn't censored.